is the 2024 Maserati MC20 Cielo, which means the top goes down. Now there is a coupe version. It is a little bit lighter, but there are some pluses and minuses to this car, starting with exceptional performance, very sexy, and of course it's Italian. Now there's a lot of things. First you're gonna look at this beautiful matte blue color. Is $19,800 is an additional upgrade to the package, but there's a lot of upgrades to this car, and some of them I'd absolutely buy, and others maybe not so important. One of the biggest options on this car is a $39,000 package for carbon fiber. Personally, I think it's worth it. For $39,000, you get a lot of exterior carbon details, and that includes that front splitter and the area that goes around the air intake. Of course, that trident, which is known for the Maserati history of racing, which is where Maserati comes from, that's always going to be there, nice and bright, and it's aluminum and it looks fantastic, not too big. LED headlights are standard on this vehicle. 20-inch alloy wheels are standard on the vehicle, but our test vehicle has the optional alloy wheel with the Bridgestone Potenza summer tires for $7,000, plus those carbon ceramic brakes, $10,000. And if you're not putting it on the track, I wouldn't even bother with the carbon ceramic brakes because the rotors are super expensive, and the black brakes are an additional $1,200. I would have just left it whatever color came from the factory. It's a lot of money just to paint a caliper. When it comes to the performance for the MC20, the Maserati-designed 3-liter V6 twin-turbocharged engine puts out 621 horsepower and 538 pound-feet of torque. It is a unique twin-combustion system borrowed from Formula One race cars. The 90-degree V6 engine is paired exclusively with a dual-clutch 8-speed automatic transmission. Gets fuel economy of 18 miles a gallon, which really isn't important, but that 0 to 60 time is 3.2 seconds, which is awesome. And there's launch control, but I don't recommend using that on a regular basis because it beats the heck out of the transaxle. This Italian supercar has such beautiful lines. It's very sexy. And of course, that carbon fiber, part of that very expensive package, is along the side here. It is gloss where the car is flat. I do like the differences in the color. Of course, that MC20 is right there. And of course, the famous trident, which Maserati is known for. There's a 4-year, 50,000-mile warranty, and of course, there is no scheduled maintenance. That's going to be a little bit pricey. There is an optional front suspension lift mechanism to help the low nose clear those speed bumps. I highly recommend adding that. I have it on my Ferrari, I also have it on my Ford GT, and it really makes a difference when you need to clear a bump because there's nothing worse than hearing that scrape. The roof retracts at one touch of the button. The rear glass can also be moved up and down, which is a nice option. This vehicle is built in Modena, Italy, where they build Ferraris. I personally prefer the coupe, which weighs about 200 pounds less, but this bespoke styling program can make this vehicle any way you want it to look. Coming around to the back, there are some beautiful details. This is where the camera lives, and it says Cielo to let you know that you're driving a beautiful roadster. Across the back, you'll see the beautiful Maserati details, more carbon fiber that you paid for in that package, and these exhaust pipes, well, they sound amazing. There are some additional add-ons to this vehicle. It is heavily optioned, and that's the only way I would buy it, actually. Electronic limited slip was an additional $2,300. And then on top of that, we've got these seats. They're full premium leather, comes standard, but these have Alcantara. These are made by Sawbelt. They make my racing harnesses. And as a supercar owner myself, I will tell you, get the comfort seats if you're going to drive it around. If you're going to put it on the track, then go for the race seats. The additional cost is $7,000 for these lightweight seats. They get the trident embossed here on the headrest. It's an additional $900, and the backing color is $6,930. A lot of additional options that are on this car. One additional option is the Sonos Faber audio system. It's 12 speakers instead of the factory 10 speaker. I like a nice audio system, although for me it's the exhaust system. The cost on that is $4,000. Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, wireless hotspot, as well as wireless charging are standard on this vehicle. These are manual seats, they are not power seats. So if you want power seats, don't buy the upgraded racing buckets. And again, if you're not gonna put it on the track, you will find this is like sitting on a park bench if you're just driving on a long cruise with your friends. If you're gonna put it on the track, these are the seats to have. So to put the vehicle in drive, it's much like that of my 488 Ferrari. You have to take the parking brake off, then you put it into gear. So you can use the first gear here, you can hit the drive, which is along the center of this carbon fiber tunnel. It starts off in sport mode. If you want it in the better mode, you hold it to the left dial, and then it goes into Corsa mode. If you want to go and change the suspension settings, there is a hard and there is a soft setting. So again, it's like an iPhone, you just slide it from side to side. Now I'm going to compare this car to some of the vehicles that I have. So if you're thinking about buying an MC20 Cielo, you at least have an idea. So I own a 488 Ferrari, I also have a Ford GT and a couple other performance cars. And as a Porsche owner, it's kind of the baseline for me. This vehicle handles really nice and super flat, very race car type handling. Again, this is what Maserati's history is about. By the way, I had to put the windows up so you can hear me, otherwise I'm yelling as it is now, but it's loud in any car that doesn't have a roof. But as far as quick response, very responsive, that's the way it's designed. Again, using that F1 technology, taking it down to a street car. I do have it on the rough ride right now on the hard setting. I think it's a little bit aggressive. All right, we're going into these corners nice and flat. Just a joy to drive, I have to say. If you're looking at a driver's car, this is a driver's car. It's Italian, it's got personality, there's tons of carbon fiber, it's got style, it's got class. This vehicle makes a statement, and I do like the matte paint. Again, I caution you that if you own matte paint, you're going to have to get an XPEL coverage of paint protection of some kind to protect it from getting shiny spots, because that will definitely deplete the value of the car. I've had a couple friends that have been disappointed that they have to have the car wrapped afterwards. You don't want to find yourself in that position. The car is just fun to drive. Brakes are really nice and grippy. Yes, they're carbon ceramic, so they're going to take a little bit of time to heat up, but boy, do they grip like a race car. And as a race car driver, my race car has 900 horsepower, so I'm used to super grippy brakes. This is really nice, just well balanced and well designed, bringing back that Maserati heritage. Makes you want to smile. What a great car. Now we're going to get into the curvy roads. This should be fun. One of their features is a camera rather than having just a regular backup. That is a major plus. There is a launch button, like I said, but the transaxle does not like you to use that launch button a lot. It's designed for every once in a while. I don't like to use it because I know what the damage it can do to a transaxle, which is expensive to replace. The center screen is nice. It's 10.3 inches, same size as the gauge package in front of you. Digital, really easy to use. You can have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto already connected in. Now this is a joy to drive, I have to say. I'm glad I had the opportunity, and I thank Maserati for sending this vehicle to me for a week, because I'm not getting any work done. All I'm doing is hearing this car calling me in the garage saying, take me for a drive, I want to be driven. And this car is a lot of fun. Certainly something to test drive if you're considering one of the competitors. There's a lot of competitors in this supercar category, especially once you get up to that $300,000 price range, everything changes. There's a lot of choices. This car would be fun on the track. Remember that some of the drive events do not allow removable tops, and also you have to make sure that all the nannies are shut off, because of Ford collision warning, which is standard on this vehicle. It has to be shut off, because if it isn't, you could find yourself in a bad situation on a track. There are some pros and cons to the MC20. It is a gorgeous vehicle with a beautiful, sexy Italian styling throughout the vehicle. I really like this twin-turbo V6 engine. It's got great performance. The car handles very race car-like, and if you own a Ferrari or an Audi or a Porsche, you're gonna really appreciate how nice and tight the handling is for this vehicle. On the negative side, well, there's no manual transmission, although many of the competitors don't offer that any longer as well, and there is extremely limited cargo space, which is only 5 cubic feet of storage. That's 1 in the front and 4 in the back. So you gotta travel really, really light, or just have a duffel bag or something very small with you. Otherwise, you're gonna have to ship it to wherever you're going. This vehicle has a few competitors, the Corvette E-Ray and the Corvette Z06, as well as the Porsche 911, which I know there's a lot of different models, so there's a lot of different comparatives depending upon whether you're buying the Coupe or you're buying the convertible. Of course, I personally prefer the coupe, and we'll talk about the price difference in just a second. The McLaren Artura, which we've driven the Spider version of this as well, the Ferrari Roma, and the Audi R8. So there's a lot of competitors that I didn't list as well, but in this category, you really need to be thinking about, I'm spending a lot of money, I want to have a fun car, and it's got to be something reliable that I know I can resell down the road if I want to upgrade to something even cooler. You want to make a wise decision when it comes to the MC20 because down the road you may want to switch for something else or upgrade to a newer one. You want to make sure that car has value down the road. That's why it's important to also get paint protection. I use XPEL. They're not paying me to say that, but you've got to protect the paint, especially on these matte colors. Really important to look into the cost of maintaining these. You will have to sign an agreement that if you rub on it, you'll get a high spot, which means it's shiny, and that will definitely impact the resale value of the vehicle. Now let's talk about the price. The coupe, which is the hardtop, which I think is a better deal, is $242,995 or $243,000. The Cielo starts at $281,000. Our test vehicle had a ton of options on it, which brought into $387,000, which is a very expensive car. But if you're buying something like this, you want to make a statement, you want to have a head turner, and this vehicle definitely does that. Now, if you have any additional comments or questions, put them down below. If you get value from this video, please like and subscribe. All the ways to reach me, including ways to support me by buying me a cup of coffee, or down below in the description. I'm LaurenFix. Thanks so much for watching.